Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll recap GLIAC championships for Ferris State football and volleyball, and a big win for Bulldog hockey over Michigan State. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog football, joined by assistant coach Steve Kasula. And Coach, welcome.
Happy to be here. Always fun.
Got to be pleased with where your team's at right now, 10-0, and obviously going through the GLIAC and finishing the conference season unbeaten at 8-0. Got to be a tremendous accomplishment.
Yeah, it's an amazing accomplishment. Credit to our kids, our coaches, our university as a whole. So really excited that we were able to accomplish kind of that first goal of winning the GLIAC and being undefeated in conference play. And we, that's one goal down, and we've got some more left. So we feel really, really good about it right now.
This past Saturday, regular season home finale, and it was senior day. Just talk about what this group of 16 seniors have meant to the Bulldogs.
It's amazing what they've done. I mean, their class has won 3 GLIAC titles, has a chance to be a part of 2 perfect regular seasons. Obviously, we've got to take care of business this week, and has won a bunch of playoff games, and really, in addition to last year's senior class, has kind of been a part of making us into one of the best football programs in the country at our level. So unbelievable accomplishments, and you look at the list of names of our seniors, and it's a who's who of who's contributed here for the last 4 years, 5 years. So we'll be sad to see, obviously, those guys go, but we're obviously of the mindset we've got some time left with them still. So, but yeah, great day to celebrate them and see their families, and for those guys to go out there and play and contribute.
As we go to some of the highlights against Davenport, and obviously your team got off to a great start. For you, being a former Davenport assistant coach, what's that like being on the opposite side?
It's different. I know quite a bit of their players, from the old ones to the young ones. And then I'm very close with a lot of their coaches. I worked for Coach McEwen. I'm very close with A.J. McEwen and Lavelle Walker and T.J. Lynch. So it's strange but fun. There's nothing but respect and love there in our relationship, and I can't say enough about the job they've done at Davenport and have made them. I mean, they're a legitimate, very good team, and we were fortunate to play very well. We hit a big play early here with Jay Rue, completes a double move to Cy Barnett, which kind of got our juice going, and our defense was a fast start, and we felt like all 3 phases we played very well. Right away in the game, you see Parker Underwood, Austin Edwards getting great pressure on the quarterback here, and you can see we had a lot of juice, which was something we were really happy about. Our quarterback makes an exceptional play here with his legs, and from that point we kind of felt like we were off and running. And there's going to be a big moment here where Davenport puts together a pretty good drive, but we're able to force them into a field goal, and we're able to then respond with a touchdown drive of our own. That kind of like, at that point you make it a 17-point game early in the second quarter, you start to feel pretty good, and then our kids just kept playing. So we feel really good about how we played. We played it, outstanding in the first half. We didn't finish the game maybe the way we would have wanted, but we're playing a lot of different guys, and that's just something that kind of comes with the territory. But we feel great about how the first half went for us. All 3 phases really had a big part of this win, and how we played in the first half.
Jay Rue right here with another touchdown run, his second of the day. What kind of threat does that give you offensively, having a guy like that at quarterback?
Yeah, it makes it, it gives us the opportunity to always have an extra hat in the run game. It makes the defense kind of pick and choose your spots. Are you going to defend the pass? Are you going to defend the run? What are you going to do? And then our offensive line play has been so extraordinary throughout the year, between Devon Johnson, Tyler Allison, Jake Boonstra, Nick Sawyer, Dylan Pasquale, and Corey Carr's now played in some games for us, and that's not to leave out, a guy like Jake Rumler, who started a game for us this year. Guys are playing really well and have given our quarterback time to both be an effective passer and an effective runner. And it's a group effort. It's a group effort, and I know sometimes people only see and Jay Rue's been the GLIAC Player of the Week now. Golly, I don't even know how many times. But there's a lot of really good things going on around him, and I know Jay would be the first one to also echo that sentiment, that it's a team effort. So we're really excited about how we're playing right now. Feel very good.
Towards the end of the first half, big play is Keandre Craig, senior, caught the touchdown pass, and then coming up here shortly, we'll see another touchdown run for the Bulldogs. A guy like Keandre Craig, Robert Thomas scored in this game. What's it like for them to score on senior day?
I think it's awesome. to tell you a story about just kind of our culture and who our program is. On Robert's touchdown in the second quarter, Derek Portis had been in the game, who's also a senior, and we have a timeout, and in the huddle, we're discussing the play we're going to run, and Portis looks at we call him Juice. Derek looks at Juice and says, have you scored yet this year? And Juice is like, no, not yet. Portis said, well, you go, you take this one. So that's Portis, it's senior day for him too, but we care so much about each other. That's Portis wants to see Robert be successful and Robert to be able to experience and enjoy senior day. That says a lot about not only who Derek Portis is, but what our team and culture is about here. And then Keandre Craig, he's fought and worked hard, and I was so happy for him to catch a touchdown on senior day. He also happens to be my daughter's favorite player, so she was very excited about that.
41-17 the final score as
Yep.
you cap off the GLIAC season, and now one game, as you mentioned, left in the regular season at William Jewell. A long road trip this week for the Bulldogs.
So excited. We're leaving on Thursday, so it's a 2-day trip for us, and what an awesome opportunity for us to kind of go play an opponent, but also to kind of celebrate who we are, celebrate our season, be together on the road for an extended period of time, go to a part of the country. Golly, I know I've never been there. I'm sure the majority of our team's never been there. Coach Anissa's mom's from Missouri. But beyond that, I don't know how much time, obviously we went and played Northwest 2 years ago. So feel really good and really excited about the trip. Can't wait to go and play this game at a place we've never been and cap off, our regular season with hopefully a win and a perfect season.
Obviously in Division II football, it's sometimes tough to find a full schedule of games. How important is it to have that 11th game and another opportunity to play?
Well, I think not only from a competitive perspective of building a playoff resume, but the more you play, the better you are. Our kids work year-round to play in games on Saturday, and to give them another opportunity as opposed to only playing 10 games, that's vital, because you only get so many games guaranteed in your life. And I think it's great that we're able to play an 11th game. Our kids, from a guy that plays 50 plays every week to a guy that might only play 2 or 3, to get them to be able to play just 2 or 3 more plays, that's a big deal. Because for a handful of our guys, this football, has it comes to an end after college. So, if you got to say, well, if we get to play 11 games every year, that's as opposed to playing 10, that's 4 more games. That's a big deal for a kid to get to play in 4 more college games. And then, experience that occurs within the game just gets us that much more prepared for the tournament.
Finally here, what's it take to go there and get a win, keep the momentum going into the postseason?
Yeah, I think we need to go there and continue to do the things we've talked about. Fast start, all 3 phases, playing together, playing in sync, offense, taking advantage of other people's mistakes, scoring at every opportunity when we're presented with it, special teams being electric, no mistakes, no penalties, and then our defense, you saw on Saturday that fast start, how dominant they can be, and just flying around and playing Ferris State football. We feel like we can go and hopefully beat a good William Jewell team.
Well, Coach, congratulations on
Thank
the GLIAC
you.
championship, and
Yes.
best of luck this week.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with more right after this.
Want to be a storyteller? The television and digital media production program at Ferris State University is the Create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
That's it. I'm hangry. What is it going to take? A pizza for $5.99? Weekly specials? Online ordering? Actually, that sounds pretty good. I think I know just the place.
Banish your hangry self with Mancino's convenient online ordering. A 14-inch, one-topping pizza for only $5.99. Or try one of our unique weekly specials. And don't forget, Ferris students, you get 10% off. Call, go online, or stop in today.
What does it mean to be a bulldog? It means you will be focused. You will be inspired. be ready. You will be yourself. Ferris State University. Be a Bulldog. Apply today at ferris.edu.
Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog Volleyball, joined by head coach Tia Branda Wilhelm. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Okay, thanks for having us here.
Obviously, congratulations on another great regular season, 5th straight GLIAC championship. And I know it was hard to pull this one out, but still a great season here in the regular season for your team.
Yeah, we're really excited. The players, obviously we're very happy to win the championship, and it was a different year. Every year is a little bit different, and this year it really came down to our last weekend of play and being able to play well on that weekend. So it was kind of neat to have like that championship atmosphere, but still be in the last weekend of the regular season.
Obviously, this past weekend, 2 strong opponents from the Upper
Yeah.
Peninsula, and
Yeah.
you had Michigan Tech coming in first, and you knew they were going to be a very tough opponent.
Yep.
Just talk about them coming in, and maybe not the last time you'll see them this year.
Well, probably not, no. Michigan Tech they just have such a dynamic offense, and they have a strong offense on both pins, both sides of the net there. So it is, it's just a lot to prepare for and a lot to have to worry about defending. And they're also, they're pretty aggressive blocking at the net too, so, and very pursuitful and on defense, so it's really hard to even put a ball down against them. So we just knew that all aspects of the game would be challenged, and every time we've played them the last few years, it's always been, every set's been a challenge, so we just knew that would be what we'd have Friday night.
As we go to some of the highlights of Friday night's match, how much pressure was it on your team coming in, knowing you had a one-match lead and the second place team was right behind you and playing them the same night?
Yeah, I think it's not even about pressure, it's more about excitement. I mean, this is what you train for, this is what you hope for, is to be in a situation like that, and for sure it was something that we were excited to be a part of, and to play such a strong team in Michigan Tech, we knew the challenge was going to be there, and that was something that they were looking forward to.
Obviously a hard-fought win in the first set, 25-21, and you come back here in the second set and really had an outstanding set here to take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and you just never know how that's going to go in a game. So the first set was very, very close back and forth early on, and we were just able to pull away just a little bit. So you just never know how that's going to be from set to set. It's such a game of momentum.
Here in the third, talk about maybe what changed from the first time you played Michigan Tech to this time, and how the styles kind of transformed from one match to the other.
I just think both teams are just a lot better than they were. We played about, like 6 weeks ago or something like that, and I just think both teams have worked hard, and you can see that, and both teams have improved a lot, and it says well. I mean, both teams are in the top part of the region, and ranked 1 and 2 in the conference, and I just think it's a good testament to the work that they have done, and it's a testament to the strength of our conference, because teams that we have all had to get better to do well in the conference this year.
Came back on Saturday after the big win over Michigan Tech with one final match in the regular season, and it was senior day. Just talk about your 2 seniors and chance to honor them before the match.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to talk about those 2. They're just great kids and incredibly good leaders, and 2 people who are, you always want your seniors to, you always want them to go out on top, like having had their best season or just to really be at their best. And you certainly are seeing that in both of these players. Katie Plasek has moved to a new position yet again as a senior, as a libero, and is just, works hard and is in the gym extra every week, working hard to be good in that position. And then Kayla Rossman is just, she's been a lot of different things to us through the years, and outside a serving specialist, a DS, and this year she's really cemented herself out there, and she's just a kid who will do anything to help her team be successful. She's, she sits and talks to me before she goes in and subs in, and she's like, what do you need to have happen out there? I'll make sure it happens. And she's just, to have a kid like that as a senior, and to have them be so focused on, they could care less if they ever get anything individually recognition. They really just want the team to do well, and they want to do whatever they can to help the girl next to them be successful. So to have seniors like that, it says so much about our whole program and the culture, and it's just amazing.
Obviously, here on Senior Day, taking on Northern Michigan in a big match here, despite the fact you already clinched the regular season championship.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime, we're trying to do well, in the region and in the conference. So pretty much every match you play at this point is considered a pretty big match. And Northern is such a strong team. I mean, they just have some pretty wicked offense again at both pins, a couple outsides and their right side, and some really strong middles. So we knew that it would be very challenging.
Allison Capel with 13 kills to lead you here in this match as you take a 1-0 lead here in the first set, but she had an outstanding weekend named GLIAC Player of the Week.
Yeah, well deserved too. She really did have a good year, and I don't think people understand what an amazing player she is. Like, she's obviously a good offensive player, and people see her hit the ball, and she has to do that against two really big blockers all the time because everyone pretty much sits on her all the time. But she also is such a great defensive player and such a great passer and such a great server and blocker. I mean, she just does all those things. And, I just don't think that there are many kids in the country that do the complete game of volleyball like Allison does.
Here against Northern Michigan, second time you've seen them here this season. Just talk about the changes maybe in terms of how they've played against you.
The thing with Northern is they're so much better than their record says. They're such a good team. They play just a little bit emotional sometimes, so if they get on a high, they're pretty formidable and pretty tough to stop. And you certainly saw a little bit of that when we were playing them this weekend.
Had to battle in the second set, went to extra points, 30-28, and how important was that win to get that set?
Either way, we would have been, our team's not going to get fazed by one set. It's not going to throw us on or off of our game plan. We knew we were doing the right things. We just had a couple miscues. They had done a couple, had a couple really great plays. So we weren't, it was great to get it for sure. It's just great to be in, in extra innings and doing good like that. But for us, that one set wouldn't make or break how we felt about how we played the whole night.
This week, the GLIAC tournament, #1 seed, and taking on Wisconsin Parkside Wednesday night, the #8 seed. How important is it to have that home court advantage here in the conference tournament?
For sure. It's so exciting because, we love playing at home. We have such great fans, the student athletes, the students, the faculty and staff, the community members. Like, we just get such a big crowd and such an involved crowd. Like, these players, you definitely feel surrounded by people who care about you for sure when you're out there playing, and there's such great energy in our gym. So we just are loving and excited to be playing at home again.
I know you're not looking ahead, but if you win that, you host the semifinals and finals, and obviously a big week in terms of some of the regional implications with postseason play coming up in the NCAA tournament next week.
Yep, it is. And all we can really do is just try to just take care of our business today and see what happens. It would be, obviously you want to win every game you play, and we would be thinking like that. But for us, it's just, take care of today and see what we can do about tomorrow. And however it falls, we feel pretty good about getting a bid into the postseason because at this point we're ranked second in the region. So we feel pretty good about that. It'll come at some point, and anybody who's in there has a chance to do whatever they want to do. So that'll be our focus.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the GLIAC Championship. Best of luck here in the postseason.
Thanks.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.
Want to be a storyteller? The television and digital media production program at Ferris State University is the create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
Cuts back to the right side, breaks a tackle, touchdown!
Landing the diagonal, Mackin shoots and scores! Corey Mackin off the rebound!
Run to Williams, back to Cusingberry, three-pointer up and good!
GLIAC tournament champion.
Ferris State with a huge win!
Come rise with us. For more information, visit ferrisstatebulldogs.com.
At Ferris State University, we're more than our student-to-faculty ratio.
More than our variety of programs, our internship rate,
or our number of student organizations.
Here, you're never just a number.
You can be yourself and be focused on your goals.
Be inspired every day and be ready for tomorrow.
Be a bulldog. Go to ferris.edu.
Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to talk Bulldog hockey. And with us, head coach Bob Daniels. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Good to be here, Rob.
Obviously, out of WCHA play this past weekend for a non-league series, but a very tough opponent in Michigan State, and always a good in-state rivalry.
Yeah, it is. It's been great over the years, and you know, now that we're in different conferences, it's good to continue to play them every single year in the home and home series. You know, it just, you'd hate after 30 years or so of being in the same conference with them to see that rivalry go away. And so, you know what, and it brings out the best in both teams, I believe.
Obviously, as we get ready to go to the highlights, you had to go to East Lansing on Friday night for the first game of the series, and a tough place to play on the road over the years.
You know, it is, and you know what, I think it's a good sign. But, you know, their crowds are picking up there. You know, they're getting better crowds. For a while there, the crowds had dipped down, and now we're seeing the fans return to Mount Ice Arena. And we had a sold-out crowd for the series. So, you know, I take that as a healthy sign for not only them but for us. And then, you know, we continue to play Western on a yearly basis. And, again, the crowds are good at both those two. So those are series that we have to keep going.
Obviously, with Michigan State having that crowd behind them, they got off to a great start with 3 goals here in the first period.
Yeah, they do. We get off to a sloppy start. We do. That's a very poor goal right there defensively that we gave up. On the night, we give up 5 goals. 3 of them were on their power play, and obviously going into night 2, that was a point of emphasis. And beyond the fact that I didn't think our PK was up to snuff, it was inopportune penalties too, so it's a combination of things. But they have one of the more dynamic lines in college hockey, their first line, and that's also their first power play unit. And they had a great night. I believe they were responsible for 4 of their 5 goals.
Obviously, you had to make a goalie change here in the game. How does that impact the contest when you have to change goalies in the middle of it?
Well, for us, you know, it wasn't necessitated by poor play by Justin Kappelmaster. It was just the fact that he got injured. And he's going to be out for a while, but it's a lower body injury. And, you know, now Ronnie Skelman-Kangas has to go in, and he went in cold. And while we did, I thought, a very nice job of keeping them away from the goal when he first went in, the very first chance they had was bang, bang. And we would have liked to allow him to see a few easier shots before the very first one that went in. Here you see a score. That's Hunter Wentz scoring his 2nd goal tonight. He leads our team in goal scoring as a freshman. And we got it back to 4-2. We felt all along we could come back in this game. Now it's 5-2, and you're going to see here in a moment, we're going to score to make it 5-3 with about 1:40 to go in the game. We pulled the goalie, had a couple good looks, but we never really felt like we were out of it. We've got that kind of offense this year where we have enough players that can score in our roster that we don't ever feel like we're out of a game.
5-3 the final score, but as you mentioned, the third period, you outshot them 13-5, and had to make you feel pretty good going into night 2 after a third period like that.
Yeah, it did, and I felt like that third period went a long way going into that second game and giving us confidence. And I felt like we let one slip away there. I thought we took some poor penalties. I thought our penalty kill is better than what it showed that night. And the second night, now lo and behold, we did a much better job. We stayed out of the box. They did get 1 power play goal, but that's the only goal we gave up. Matter of fact, even strength, we outscored them 7-2 on the weekend.
As we go to night 2, you mentioned the sellout crowd here in Big Rapids at the Ava Glaven Ice Arena. Nice to see a big crowd here for a big game.
Yeah, it is, and we've been fortunate. We've had great crowds all year. We get great support, but this game, you know, being that Michigan State's a Big Ten opponent, it means a lot. And because it means a lot to our fans, we know it does. It takes on an added sense of importance. It means a lot to our players. And here we kind of turned the tables on them from the night before, and we go up 2 very quickly.
Oscar Andren right there with his first goal as a Bulldog on a great setup, but Michigan State will come back, and they cut it to 2-1 here near the end of the first period.
They did, and that was a big goal for them to get them, you know, because they were kind of licking their wounds. But in here, Roney makes a big save in the second period. But that was their only goal of the night, and it really came on kind of a broken play. Here, you know, we tack on the 3rd goal. That was a really important goal, and here's the 4th goal will be coming up. But those were really important, and what I really enjoyed after we scored the 4th, we had a real workman-like 3rd period and pretty much did what good teams do when they have a 3-goal lead. We shut them right down.
Other player scoring his first collegiate goal, Jake Transit, here with the goal, and Nice to see those guys get on the score sheet. You've had a lot of versatility in terms of the scoring.
We really have. If you look on the weekend, we had scoring. It's kind of like our season. We get scoring from a lot of different areas. And here's a very important moment of the game, though. We did go down 4-on-3 and had to kill that late in the second period. Had they scored to bring it to 4-2 going into the third, that's a whole different game. But we did a good job. And like I say, I thought we did a great job in the third period. We continued to press. We didn't sit back and try to protect the lead. We did the things that good teams do when they have a nice lead.
How important is it with a lead like that to have a good play on the back end there to hold on to the win?
Yeah, it was really important. And Roney, I think he goes to 4-1 on the season, and that's pretty good for a freshman. And given the fact that his only loss was at Michigan State the night before, and we were down 2-0 when he went in, but because we came back and scored 3 goals, he is the goalie of record and took the loss. But he's played exceptionally well for us this year.
This week, back into WCHA play, and another tough in-state opponent, Michigan Tech, coming to town in Big Rapids.
Yeah, another in-state rivalry. We talk about Michigan Tech's got a storied tradition in hockey. They've got a really good program right now. I do believe, and that it hasn't come out yet, the top 15 in the country, the poll, but I believe we all have 3 teams in the top 10. So our conference is strong this year, and Michigan Tech's one of those teams.
Being in WCHA with Michigan Tech, what's it been like having them back on the schedule here after a few years away?
Well, I hate to admit how old I am, but I remember back in the days when Michigan Tech went from the WCHA into the CCHA and would play Ferris regularly. Then they went back to the WCHA, and then lo and behold, here we are again with Michigan Tech. And so I'm going back to the 1980s through now. But so we found ourselves over the years with them. But it's such a good rival school when it comes to all the GLIAC sports, whether it's football, volleyball, basketball. So in hockey, it lends itself to that as well.
Well, Coach, best of luck to the Bulldogs this weekend, Friday, Saturday, 7:07 p.m. at the Aveglaven Ice Arena.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Rob.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. Follow all the action and get all the results online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.